Hello, Gary. I'm very glad that you are here. And the first question, could you introduce yourself? Tell me, my audience, who you are, what you do, and where are you from?
Hello, my name is Gary. I am from Israel. I have two daughters, and I'm working as a DBA. That means as a database administrator. It's been a kind of a programmer in the high-tech industry of my country. As you can see, I'm not a young guy. I'm 62 years old. I learned economics at the university many years ago.
Okay. The next question. I would like to know about your country more closely. And the second question about your country. What makes your country different from other countries?
I think in most than everything else is the fact that this is the only Jewish country in the world. You can find a lot of Muslim countries, a lot of Christian countries, but there's only one Jewish country. And mainly when we look at the place where it is located in the Middle East, so it is in the middle of a Muslim region, inside the region that most of the countries have, most of the population, it counts with some dozens of countries, and hundreds of millions of people are Muslim, and we are a little Jewish island inside this this ocean. Of course, there are many other things that relate to our history and our language. We speak Hebrew, which is the language of the Bible, the Old Testament. So this is a very big advantage if somebody wants to read it in its original version and not the translation. So it is a country that combines ancient things, ancient tradition with modern things, which relates to the 21st century.
Okay, I got it. The second question, what is the most beautiful place in your country?
Israel is a very small country. It is very difficult to find it in the map of the world. However, I can mention at least three interesting things that I really recommend to every person that has the opportunity to come to Israel to do or to visit or to take into account. The first one is the fact that we are located near the sea. So there are a lot of places that you can watch every evening, the sunset, the sun falling into the sea, to walk along the seaside, to sit, to have some beer, to watch pretty women or pretty men, each one according to his preferences, and to see the sunset is very nice. The second one is Jerusalem. Jerusalem is our capital. It is a holy city for all the religions, for Jews, for Christians, and for Muslims. It is very nice, and I'm talking mainly about the ancient part of Jerusalem, but it is also very interesting, and it can be also very exciting, mainly for the religious people that find a lot of significance in everything that you may find there. And finally, the desert. Most of my country, of the area of my country is a desert, and the desert is nice, very nice. And I like to travel there, and people that are coming from places which have a lot of rain, a lot of forest, a lot of huge rivers, will be surprised to see the desert without rivers, without forest, and without a lot of rain.
Okay. What do you dislike about your country?
generally we are not allowed to make generalizations about other people. I cannot, it is not polite, it is not politically correct, but about ourselves, each one can do it, and that's okay. So I think that Israelis tend to be very impatient and very intolerant about other people in their daily life. I'm sure that it doesn't relate to everybody, but it is enough that one from 100 people will be intolerant or will be impatient or will behave in a manner that is unacceptable, that everybody will suffer. So I would not say that all of us are impatient, but when I go abroad from my country, I see that people tend to be more tolerant and more patient regarding each other. So we have to improve ourselves and mainly more patient, more tolerant. I hope I am, and then I will try to even ask other people to do what I'm doing.
Okay. How do you understand the conflict between Israel and Palestine?
If I try to be the most neutral as I can be, I would define it in this way. There are two peoples, the Jewish people and the Palestinian people, and each side is sure in a very sincere way that this little piece of land belongs to him. The Jews are sure that this land was promised to them and belonged to them, and the Palestinians too. And this is a conflict that it is very difficult to resolve it. It should be resolved by a concession between two parties, but as the time passes, less and less people are willing to make concessions, because every side says to itself, after struggling so many years and sacrificing so many lives, I will make concession? No way. So this is a conflict that it is very difficult to solve it. This is how I perceive it. Of course, I'm part of it. I belong to one of the two parties. So I cannot be objective and I cannot be neutral about it. But I hope this description will give just a hint in order to understand what each side feels deep in his heart, and what are the emotions of each side about the country and the other side.
Okay. Do you believe that this conflict between Israel and Palestine can be resolved peacefully?
Okay, I guess that the correct answer is to say that I'm optimistic and that I believe that every problem could be solved with love and tolerance and patience between the two parties, and at the end we will love each other and everything will be perfect. But I'm realistic, not pessimistic, not optimistic. I'm realistic. I know exactly what is the situation, and as the time passes, less and less people are willing to make concession in order to solve it peacefully. I don't see an end to this conflict. This is a very big problem. How it will end, I don't know. I'm sure that the way to do it is by concession, and I'm trying to do my best to convince other people in my side to choose this way. But I understand very good that the future is not. I don't find any way to solve it in a way that everybody will be satisfied.
Okay. Why people around the world dislike or envy Jews?
Well, I think it is mostly related to the past and not and less to the present, because in the present we all much more tolerant than we were 100 years ago. So during the history, the Jews always suffered discrimination. Why did it happen? Well, three reasons. The first one, they were minority everywhere. In each country, there was a minority of Jews. So generally, this is what happens when there is a minority. The majority perceives them as different. They have a different look, different language, different religion, different traditions. Suppose that in Russia, among millions of Russians, there's a little minority of Jews. They're perceived different. Who are they? They are not like us. They are us, and they are they. So this is when you are a minority, you many times suffer from a type of discrimination. Sometimes even the majority is not aware to the fact that they are discriminating. The second reason is the religious region. During many years, the Christians and mainly the Catholic Church perceived the Jews as blame, as responsible for the crucifixion of Jesus. And they were discriminated and they were chased due to it. The Catholic Church changed its attitude about 60 years ago. But during the history, many Christians perceive the Jews in this way. Sometimes it was just an excuse in order to hate them, but this was an integral part of the existing of the Jews in the Christian world, in Christian countries. And the third is that traditionally, the level of education among the Jews was higher than in the general population. So you could find among the Jews a lot of economists, a lot of managers or people who worked in the banks or lawyers. And when you are in economic problems, you don't like the bankers, you don't like the capitalists, you don't like the men who lend you money and you have to pay him back. So this was also a source and for perceiving the Jews as those who hold the money of the world or those who manipulate the world behind the scenes with their money. I don't know if it is absolutely wrong. They have, of course, the intellectuals and the reality, the politics, and so on. So this is also was a source for envy and for hate.
Why has a country that is constantly at war become one of the leading economy in the world?
This is a surprisingly maybe sad answer. The world, on one hand, is a source of suffer and of life lost for the humanity. But on the other hand, it will be surprising, the wars are a source of advance, of innovation, of inventions, and so on, because when you are in a war, you have to solve problems very fast, and you have to invent new technologies, and you have to develop new technologies very fast. So many times the wars pushes us to advance very fast. For example, all the technology of the computers was advanced very fast during the Second World War. The radar was developed due to military necessities. And there are many things that were invented during the wars and later had a lot of added value in the civil uses, the atomic energy. It is very important, atomic energy. It is not used only for nuclear bombs. It is also used for nuclear plants and to produce electricity, which is very friendly to the environment. So I guess that it is also relates to Israel. The world pushes us or pushed us to develop many things, many technologies that we can take advantage of them even in peaceful times.
Okay, let's move on to the another part of our meeting about English. I think my audience here, it's English people who learn English, and I think this is more interesting for them. Okay, the first question of this part of our interview, how long have you been learning English?
I'm 62 years old, and I began to learn English at school when I was 10 years old. So it is more than 50 years that I've been trying to learn English, to improve my English. I'm still making a lot of efforts. And as you can hear, I have a lot of work to do in improving my accent, in correcting my mistakes, and so on.
Mm-hmm. The next question, why are you learning English? How did you motivate yourself?
I live in this little country. We have 10 million inhabitants. From them, about 8 million are native Hebrew speakers. So wherever I go in the world, I have to speak in English. Nobody speak Hebrew. When I have, as a programmer, to read professional stuff, professional articles, I have to do it in English. I cannot find enough professional articles in Hebrew. I have to know English. I'm working in my work with teams in other countries. Used to work with teams in Ukraine. Now I'm working with teams in Romania. All the contact with them is in English. I don't speak Ukrainian nor Romanian, and they do not speak Hebrew. All the contact is in English. So I must speak English. And I even push my two daughters to improve their abilities regarding English, because it is not just in order to get a good mark at the exam. They will need it in the future.
Mm-hmm. Why is it difficult to learn foreign language?
This is a very good question. Every language has its own vocabulary, has its own grammar rules, and to learn hundreds, thousands of words, and to know how to express yourself and to adapt different accent, to understand different people, it is very difficult. It is not just to know that every object has a different name in English. Also, the grammar is different. Everything is different. Unfortunately, I understand that it is very easy to learn a new language when you're young, when you're a child. I'm not a child. So for me, it is a very difficult task.
Mm-hmm. The next question, how did you personally learn English?
When I was a child and even a student at the university, I learned like everybody else, sitting in the classroom, watching the teacher near the blackboard, trying to learn to the exams and to pass them successfully. Finally, I graduated the high school and the university with normal marks in English, but I was not able to talk in English or to express myself in English or to get along with the English speaking people. Only later, I began to invest a lot of effort efforts, and mainly during the last years when I found the wonderful opportunities that the internet today give us. When I was a child or a student, I didn't have an internet. Today, through the internet, we can find partners and to talk with them the way I'm talking with you now. We live far away from each other, but we can talk and contact in English. I can find easily teachers, tutors that can help prices. I can watch videos in YouTube. I can find dictionaries online. I can find forums where I can ask questions and get answer, or vice versa. I can help other people to learn Hebrew if they want. I can use the translator of Google. I know it is not perfect. It makes a lot of mistakes, but it is very helpful. Many resources, many abilities that the internet gives us. So today, it is much more easy task to practice, to learn foreign languages.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? It is possible to learn multiple languages at the same time?
I've never tried. I guess that it can be confusing, and each language requires a lot of efforts. So to do it simultaneously, I don't know if it is possible, but I've never tried to do it, so I don't have a good answer to you.
Okay. How can learners improve their speaking abilities? How did you do it?
The best way is to talk. So if you have a chance to go to an English-speaking country and to live there, this is the best option. But most of us do not have this opportunity. But still, through the internet, you can find friends and to talk to them, and you can find tutors that will help you. I tried mainly the second options. Second option, for me, it was not very expensive. Maybe for other people, yes, but still, people can interact among themselves. There are a lot of sites of exchanging languages, and it is a wonderful thing, and everybody can try to take advantage of it.
Okay, the next interesting question. Do you believe that in order to learn a foreign language, you need to have innate abilities?
Yes, I know that a lot of people think that no, everybody can learn easily a new language. Even I did it. This is a mistake. We have different talents. We have different talents for different things. Some of us are talented in singing, others are talented in playing football, others are talented in remember a lot of know a lot of things, and some are talented in learning languages. There are polyglots that can speak in 10 different languages, even more, or can learn very easily new languages. I'm not like this. For me, it requires a lot of efforts. And English that I'm speaking today, which is not very bad, however, not perfect and not excellent, is after many, many years of practicing and studying and trying to improve myself. So I see people that, young people that very easy than me, that's okay. I know people that sing better than me, that play football better than me, that's okay. I'm not talented in learning new languages, and this is my maybe the main message I want to bring here. Nobody should expect himself to be perfect, and to struggle with foreign languages is something that never ends. But we should not give up and to try to do our best, and that's okay. We will continue with the mistakes and the terrible accent. We can live with it.
What is the best age to learn English?
When you are born. If you are born in England or in the United States, it's very probable that when you will be 4 years old, you will be a native English speaker and your English will be perfect. If you begin to learn English when you're 10 years old, like me, far away from an English speaking country, those are the results. If you begin to learn English when you're 60 years old, I think that maybe you will learn some basic sentences. How are you? What is your name? But you will not be able to speak English. So as early as you can is the best.
Okay. What do you think? It is possible to learn a foreign languages in 6 months?
To learn in the sense of being able to speak, to write,
to comprehend,
to read.
Maybe just speaking and comprehend information, to use the general information, to speak on any topic.
I guess that is that if an immigrant comes to the United States without any knowledge in English, he will acquire some basic ability to communicate in English very fast, because he will need it regardless what is his age. He will never become a native speaker, but after 6 months living in the United States and having to talk in English from day to night, he will acquire a basic ability to do it. But generally, it seems for me a very difficult task to do it. I'm not sure that if I will be able to do it with a new language today.
Okay, I got it. Okay, let's move on to the last large topic of our meeting. It's you choose this topic. This is the topic for my guest is choose. This is the topic a woman. Why did you choose this topic?
Till some years ago, I thought that all the problems with discrimination between men and women have been solved. In the law of both countries, one country is your own country, and most of the modern world, the women have equal rights like men. They can participate in the elections, they can work in whatever they want, they can get married or not get married regarding to their preferences. They can go get high education at university. All the problems, they can drive cars, of course. Everything was solved. So we are equal, we are in the future. But when I noticed that there are still many problems, and the problems are not in the legal level, but more in the reality of day to day. I can give you many examples of it, but I will try to give one that is something that I try to remember all the time. Suppose you are going the street, in the sidewalk. Suddenly you see a woman coming in front of you. You don't know her, so you keep on going. She doesn't know you. She also keep on going. Each one to his direction. But this is what you see from your perspective. What happens to her? The street is empty. There's only you and her, and she's scared. She sees a strange man, and she doesn't know what he might do. She's alone. She's afraid. She's tense. She thinks to herself, I hope he will not stare at me. He will not say anything ugly to me. He will not try to touch me. So when it happens to me and I see a woman coming next to me, I try to watch to the other side of the street, that she will not think that I'm watching at her. If she's walking here, I will try to stay a little bit right, in the right side of the sidewalk, so she will not think that I'm trying to approach her. When I'm in the bus and I have to sit, I prefer to sit in an empty place or near another man and not near a woman, because maybe she will feel disturbed by the fact that a strange man sitting next to her. Of course, sometimes I don't have any other option, but you and me, we are both men, should be aware to the fact that in the public environment, women tend to be very unsafe. They're weak physically. We cannot understand it, because nobody will rape us in the middle of the street. Nobody will say to us, men, ugly things in public place. But they are many times victims of violence, physical violence and verbal violence. So I'm trying to contribute the little I can in order to make the world a little bit more safer for women. So this is just an example, the public environment. But of course, there are many other things that should be mentioned.
Okay. What do you think about feminism? Does gender discrimination exist today?
In general, the feminism is express the basic idea that we are equal in what? In being human beings. Yes, of course, men and women do not have the same body or the same organs, but I'm talking about being human beings. In this sense, of course, we are equal. Still, there are a lot of problems, as I mentioned. So in this sense, I see myself as a feminist, and I support the feminist movement. However, there are different types of feminism, and everybody can find attitudes and types of feminism that are very radical and sometimes very offensive and very aggressive, and that I don't like them. But I'm talking now not about the extreme cases, but about the general. So in general, I see myself, I support the feminist agenda and feminist movement. Still, there are things that should be solved, resolved. Still, there are many problems, and we have to understand how do they. I tried to mention before.
How do you imagine the perfect woman?
It's very difficult to answer this question. I guess that you are not asking about a perfect woman for sex, but a perfect woman as maybe as a partner in the life, or the other human being. I wish the women to have to live in a world where they can be able to choose the way they want, and not nobody will decide for them what to do and what not to do. For example, in the past, it was clear that women should not work. Women should be housewives. They didn't have the opportunity to have a professional career. Some feminists thought that women should not be housewives. They should have their own professional careers like the men. However, there are women that want to be housewives, want to raise their children, and want to dedicate their life and their time for the family. So the solution is that every woman will have the opportunity to decide freely Nobody will decide for her. She will decide what does she want. If she wants to be a mother and to take care of the children and to dedicate to them all her efforts, or maybe if she wants to have a professional career, or maybe a combination of both options.
Okay.
Family and career simultaneously.
I see. What do you think? It is a problem if a woman in a relationship is smarter, more beautiful, and more successful than a man?
It shouldn't be a problem. I hope so. But I understand that men like us many times try to impress women with our success and our abilities. And when we meet a woman that is more successful than us, so how can we impress her if she's better? So we feel a little bit insecure, we lose our self-confidence. Of course, it is ridiculous. So we can try to impress her with other things. And it is okay if inside the couple, the woman will have a successful professional career and the man not. Or even he will be the housewife. He will take care of the children. This is okay. We also can enjoy the opportunity of raising our children.
Okay. How to properly court a woman?
Excuse me, I didn't understand how to properly.
How to properly court a woman? I mean, to take care about her, how to find approach, to how to find a way to your heart.
I think I'm a very bad consultant regarding this issue of how to develop a good relation with the women. Generally, we don't understand. We don't know. We can understand very easily each other because we are men and we know exactly what do we feel, and generally we feel even very relaxed when we are with other men. When we are watching football, when we are drinking beer, when we are kidding, and so on. And when we met the women, we become tense. What can I say? What shouldn't I say? What to do and what not to do? So regarding this, I don't have good advices. A part of being sensitive to the differences between men and women. The same way we try to be sensitive to the differences between us because we come from different cultures. So this is normal, and we live in a very heterogeneous world. So we are aware to the fact that people are different. Not everybody is the same.
Okay, I see. And the last question, our meeting. Can men and women be friends?
Of course.
I mean, maybe you misunderstand me. I mean, the woman and the man, friends without sex, without thinking about it, just to be friends, like friends between man and man, woman and woman. Because many people have think about that. Just one of them must love another part. What do you think about it?
Of course, we can be friends, and even the fact that there are differences between men and women, this can be a motivation for being friends, and each side can take advantage of the abilities and the knowledge and the experiences and the perspective of the other side. For example, if you are not sure what to do with women and you have a good friend that is woman, you can ask her. She knows better than you what women think, what women feels, and so on. I guess that the problem is when you are attracted by a woman and you want to be her husband or her boyfriend, and she doesn't want, and she wants only to be a friend of you. So when each side have other motivation and other needs, this is a source for confusion and for frustration. So this is very problematic. But in general, I think this is a very good idea, and I have two daughters, and many times they are teenagers, and trying to explain to them how men or how boys are, and they talk to them about the good things that they can find in boys in their age, and also about the bad things. In what cases, what are the things that they have the factors that they have to take care when they are with boys.
Okay. I want to say thank you for asking of my question. I just would like to say, do you want to add something in the end of our interview?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity to express myself and to be so patient in order to hear my poor English, not very poor English, but terrible accent and all the mistakes. And I hope that we overcome this obstacle successfully. Thank you very much, Marat.
Thank you to you. See you next time, I hope. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you too. Bye-bye.